Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Tips and Tricks by Planet Technologies. My name is Logan Kurtin. I'm an Evolved 365 learning strategist with Planet, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Microsoft Teams for Education. Now, Microsoft Teams for Education is very similar to the enterprise or commercial version of Microsoft Teams. It does have some extras like assignments, and today we're going to talk about some of the new features that have come out in Teams for Education, as well as some of the very exciting accessibility features and much more. Let's get started. So if you've never seen Microsoft Teams for Education before, one of the first things you'll notice is that your Teams section is organized in big tiles. This lends itself really well to educators because of the big icons, right? Big bold text, and it's easy to find your class. As an educator, you're usually a part of more than one team in Microsoft Teams, and this makes it really easy to navigate. However, you can change this anytime you want with this little cogwheel up top, Manage Teams and Switch View, and you will have the traditional list view that you're used to seeing in the other versions of Microsoft Teams. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to talk about today was turning conversations into tasks. So if you have Planner enabled, you're one step ahead. If not, we're going to add the app with these ellipses here. And you should see it on your main pop-out window here, Tasks by Planner. And if you don't, you can search for it in that search window. So these are my tasks by Task Planner. I don't have any going right now. I'm going to show you how to assign that to your students or your coworkers, your departments, maybe another educator. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is navigate to my Teams. And I'm going to select language arts for the classroom that I want to be in. And if you haven't looked at Microsoft Teams in a while, you will notice that these move to just above the channel list. And I think this is just fantastic for students and educators alike. Makes these really easy to find. These used to be tabs up at the top, but now, if you want to see your assignments, your class notebook, or your grades, and as a matter of fact, insights, those are kind of an easy access menu right there. So to assign something as a task, this is what I wrote to my students. It's a conversation I just posted, and I want them to prep for the final exam, to go over the review guide and then turn it in just so I can check for understanding. Not for a grade, doesn't need to be put out in assignments, doesn't need to go in the grade book, but it is something that I want them to complete. So once I send out that conversation, I can hover over the message, and where I see the icons that I can react with usually, there are ellipses for an additional menu. And we're going to go inside one more menu here at the very bottom, more actions, and create a task. So this creates a task inside Planner. And this is what it looks like. So I have my title of the task. I can create a different category. If I wanted to, I'm going to leave it just in tasks for now. I can set a priority, important or medium. This will just all stay default for now, and my due date is going to be a week from today. So the best part about this, my favorite part, is that this actually includes the link to the Teams conversation. So if someone who has been assigned this task needs to refer back to that conversation, it's that easy. They just click the link from the task. So we're going to add a task. The task has been created. And now if I navigate to Tasks by Planner, and I did do this twice, but this just added, and I can see it in the task list now. And I can also edit, some of the details if I need to. Okay, so the next big exciting feature that I cannot wait to show you about Microsoft Teams are the added emojis. We are all used to this initial menu of emojis with yellow smiley faces and some hearts. However, if you look at this bottom toolbar, you'll see that they have added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 categories of emojis. And from a diversity and inclusion perspective, this is fantastic. So I can change any of these emojis that have the gray dot next to it. I can right click and I can choose the skin tone. Okay, and that is all of these, all of these. It's pretty incredible. There might be more emojis on here than I have on my smartphone. I'm not sure yet, and I don't plan on counting anytime soon. So anything with a gray dot, you can right click, change the skin tone, And it's just fantastic from an engagement perspective, from a diversity and inclusion perspective. And this is great, not just in Teams for Education, but also the commercial and enterprise version of Teams as well. Okay, finally, I want to go over the reading progress tool, which was added by Microsoft to really assist students with their reading fluency. And how we're going to find that is go into assignments, or you could first navigate to a classroom that you'd like to. Let's start with language arts. We're going to go into assignments. From here, we're going to hit create, creating an assignment. I'm going to enter a title, reading test. There won't be many instructions for the demo. And we're going to hit attach. Okay. Under the attach menu, you'll see the reading progress option. This is what we're going to click, and it'll ask you to upload a Word or PDF. Very soon, Microsoft will be releasing sample documents that you can use for your classroom or even just for a demo like this. But for now, we're going to upload a Word document. I have a very simple brief history of chocolate. It's my favorite sample document to use. So it imported all of the text off of that Word document in here for me. I can choose a reading level. This is not too complex. You don't have to put a genre. You don't have to put a cap on the number of attempts, but let's say 3. And in this case, I do want to require the video of the student. And so what this is going to look like is the student will be on video reading this passage, and Microsoft's AI will detect the words that they miss, the words that they mispronounce or have trouble with, or the words that maybe are above their reading level and they did really well with. So I'm going to assign this. And let me jump over to show you what this looks like as a student. Okay, so here I am logged in as a student, Enrico. And to find this reading assignment, what I did was 2 ways. I am a student in the language arts class, so I can just select my classroom from my Teams navigation. I could also go straight to assignments, but let's go into language arts. I'm going to hit assignments in that easy to access menu. And here's my reading test. So when I click on that and I click on the assignment, Microsoft Teams will check to make sure that I do have a camera, I do have a microphone, and I'm going to hit start. A brief history of chocolate. See if we can get out of full screen. Okay. A brief history of chocolate. When most of us hear the word chocolate, we picture a bar, a box of bonbons, or a bunny. The verb that comes to mind is probably eat, not drink, and the most apt adjective would seem to be sweet. But for about 90% of chocolate's long history, it was strictly a beverage, and sugar didn't have anything to do with it. I often call chocolate the best known food that nobody knows anything about. So I would finish this and hit I'm done. I'm going to use this recording. And you can see my dog taking a nap. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to turn this in. I get a nice little prize. And I can rewatch my recording if I choose to. A brief history of chocolate. Okay, so let's log back into the teacher and see what that looks like. Okay, so I'm back as a teacher, and I see that Enrico turned in this assignment. And this is what I see as a teacher. And wow, I have a 35% accuracy rate. I suppose that's because I did skip the back half of that segment. But this is really, really great. You can see insertions, omissions, mispronunciations, all labeled differently with a nice color. And you can watch the video yourself. You don't have to take Microsoft AI's word for it. So at the end of this, right, I skipped the back half of this, but at the end of this, you can say, hey, it looks like you have trouble with these words or those words. Very good job, keep practicing, so on and so forth. So I would return Great job. This is not for points, and I'm going to return it back to Enrico. He can see my feedback, and then he can also rewatch his video at a later time. Thanks so much for watching another Tips and Tricks by Planet Technologies. My name is Logan Kurtin. I'm an Evolved 365 learning strategist at Planet. And if you are interested in new features and learning about cool new stuff in Microsoft 365 products, subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned. We'll be posting again soon. Thanks.